We'll call the June 11th council meeting to order. Fire Marshal Maples, would you give the invocation, please?
Heavenly Father, we come to you this evening in prayer to request your wisdom and peace to begin this meeting. We thank you for our city, Lord. Thank you for our elected officials, the workers, the citizens, the businesses, the families, and the individuals to make this city the great place it is. Lord, thank you for every seat that has been filled here tonight, and we thank you for each heart, mind, and soul that fills this presence of this building. Lord, help us approach each other with peace and understanding. Lord, we thank you for our civil servants. Please keep them safe from harm as they protect our community. Keep everyone safe as they make their way home this evening. Please continue to bless us and keep us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Chief Hawkins, will you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk will call the roll.
Taylor,
Present.
Peterson,
Present.
Lease, present. Heckmaster,
Present.
Edge,
Present.
Snow, Barlow,
Here.
Cossey,
Here.
Schramm.
Here.
All right, we'll move on to reading and consideration of minutes of the previous meeting.
I oopsied on that. We already approved May 28th. That was supposed to be June 3rd, so those will be in the next packet. I think we just have an amendment to some minutes.
Okay. So there's just, what was in the packet with the amendment?
So the
To the
packet has the May 21st minutes. There's a typo on the council bill number, so that they just need to be amended to fix that to be
Okay.
the right number.
So do I need to wait for you to call discussion on the 21st since we don't need to approve the 28th?
Make a motion to amend.
Yeah,
the
if you want to make a
21st.
motion to accept the amended minutes of the 21st, or do you want to amend those amended minutes?
I would like to make a motion to amend the minutes of May 21st. So there, as Miranda mentioned, there was a small typo. There was further down in the minutes, there was a council bill noted as Council Bill 24-47, should have been 24-27. And I would like to make a motion that we amend the minutes to reflect the correct number.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to amend the minutes of the May 21st meeting as outlined. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Motion to accept the minutes as amended.
They've already been approved.
Oh, they've already been
just
approved,
needed
okay.
to be, yeah, so,
All right.
yeah, we're good on that.
All right.
So we can move on to
Move on to public comments. Anyone wishing to address the council, step to the podium, state your name and address, and please keep it to 5 minutes.
Good evening. My name is Jack Cruza. I live at 701 East Highland. I own the property there. I also own some commercial property here in town and pay taxes on all of that. So while some people have said I don't have a standing to present anything to this council, I think I do. So last summer and early fall, when I was here, I spoke to this council several times, and on more than one occasion, I said, "I think you just have the wrong guy as the city administrator." Had nothing to do with his efforts to pursue fraud. It had everything to do with his management style, and that's what I said. I said he has a command and control style, almost sometimes a bully. And I just didn't think it was ever going to be effective. That council wasn't able to or didn't address that issue. This council did, and for that I say, well done. At this point, you have another significant issue to deal with in the impeachment proceedings against the mayor. And sooner or later, you will have an impeachment hearing, and you will be asked to listen to arguments on both sides. And then you'll be asked to decide if any of those 10 items are impeachable offenses. You'll make that decision. And then you'll be asked to decide what to do about that. Do you move to relieve the mayor of his duties? And I believe that, and I said this last fall, that there was a willingness and a knowingness that occurred in the violation of the city charter. While I believe Dan to be a nice guy, I just don't think he made the right decisions. And so when you have to make that decision, I encourage you to deal with the consequences that need to come from that. So I appreciate the opportunity to say so.
My name is Jackie Booyer. I live at 1184 South Main Street here in Carthage, and I am the president of the Kellogg Lake Board. And I wanted to thank the city, the departments of the city who came out to help us put on a great show on Saturday. It was successful. It was not as big as some types in the past, but we fed 700 hot dogs to a lot of people. So I just wanted to let you know that we appreciate what you do, even if it's walking through the water to move tables around. It all makes it a success. And I think a lot of fish were caught, but not an albino catfish. But thank you so very much, and I wanted to say that I do appreciate the council and what you do. Thank you.
My name is Bill Shear. I live at 422 East 13th Street here in Carthage. I just wanted to let everybody know our recall effort on Miss Cossey is going great. In 10 days, we have over half of what we need. And there's been several that were reluctant to sign because they say we don't do petitions. And I said, well, let me show you something. And I showed them a video. They say, where's the pen? So that's what the people of Carthage think about what's going on here. And it's not just Miss Cossey. It's that whole side of the room right there and one over there. But people are fed up. And they say, is she the one wanting to get rid of our mayor? And I said, she's one of them. She's the ringleader. So we're not having a bit of problem getting signatures. So enjoy your time here because it's short.
All right. Move on to reports of standing committees, budget ways and means. I guess that would be Mr. Barlow. Oops. Sorry, I didn't mean to catch you by surprise. Yeah, since Mr. Snow's not here, have you guys met since the last meeting?
He's not on the budget.
Never mind.
Wrong list.
Sorry about that. My bifocals. Ms. Hackmaster.
So, Your Honor, we are in between meetings,
All right.
and I apologize, I did not come prepared for that
Oh,
question,
that's
so
all
I
right.
can't tell you when the next meeting is. But it is soon, how about that?
I'm sure it will be. Yep. I'm gonna take my glasses off so I can see. All right. Committee on Insurance Audit and Claims, Chairperson Kasi.
Yes, thank you. The Committee on Insurance Audit and Claims met in council chambers this afternoon at 5:30. The council has a document on their desks. The claims that were listed on there have actually been amended. There's one claim that was not approved, and the claims were approved. There was also one item in the claims list that we need to check in with Ms. Lommendinger about prior to approving that amount. But there was an item for legal services which involved a contract that the City Council did not approve. Insurance Audit and Claims Committee did not approve that contract, so that reduces the amount originally presented by $1,727.30. So the new amount, if approved, would be $861,466.13. The item that we needed to ask Ms. Almendinger about, there was a bill for lighting for Memorial Hall in the amount of $15,000. It was a little over $15,000. Miranda, was it $15,111? And 11 cents, something like that. And one of the committee had a question. They were just wondering if that lighting job had actually been completed.
So that bill is going to the third party that ordered it from the manufacturer. And so the project itself has not been quite completed because we had some issues with the way the lights were ordered. We're working with the manufacturer to fix those on the manufacturer's end, but the company that provided us the lights is asking us to pay that bill. So they've completed their scope of the work. So we're still working with the manufacturer to fix any issues, and they're, quite willing to do that. So that's where that comes in.
Okay. So at this point, I'm not exactly sure how we proceed because the claims were approved in committee pending that having been a completed project. So I don't know that then at that point that it's officially passed the committee. I guess we would have to approve the claims without that amount. So if we do quick math.
Ms. Cossey? Yeah. If we don't pay that bill today, then that will have to go into a carryover for budget. So I'm not sure how that affects the carryover numbers from last year. So that's why we were trying to pay that bill to end the project for the fiscal year. And the company that, provided us with those lights has provided us with the lights. So they've completed their portion of the work. I'm not sure, I'm just telling you just for your reference. So I know Ms. Cox has been working on the budget numbers and finalizing the budget. It could affect the carryover numbers, just for your information. I don't know how it affects it, but I just want to let you know that.
Okay, yeah, and my only concern is that it was approved with the contingency that is on there. And so I guess once it's forwarded to full council, I don't know if someone can make a motion to approve it even though that work has not been completed. I'm not sure how that procedure goes, or if we have to approve it the way that it came out of committee, which is what I believe is the correct procedure.
The bill is for the product, and we've already gotten the product, so you can't just hold payment for the product.
Well, yeah, I just want to make sure we're doing it correct procedurally. Is it because it came out of committee with a contingency to be forwarded on? And so I don't know if someone needs to make a motion.
You can approve it, and then, they're working with the other company to get them working. So is another bill coming through
No,
for that too?
no.
Okay. So, we have the lights, and if they're not working, they're gonna swap them out. We're not gonna have to pay any more.
Okay. And so, and I guess we don't actually have a vote on that amount anyway until a little later on in the agenda. So at that point, we can have discussion and see what everybody wants to do. But that was the way it was approved originally, was the amount of $861,466.13, contingent on that project being approved. And our next meeting is, I apologize, the 25th. Thank you. Tuesday, June 25th at 5:30 here in council chambers.
All right. Public Safety Committee, Chairperson Heckmeister.
Your Honor, Public Safety Committee is in between meetings. Our next meeting will be 5:30 p.m. Monday, June 17th here in council chambers.
All right, thank you. Public Services, Chairman Edge.
We are currently in between meetings. Our next regularly scheduled meeting will be next Tuesday, the 18th at 5:30 here in council chambers.
All right. Public Works Committee, Chairman Taylor.
Our meeting was canceled this month because of lack of a public attorney for the city, because we only had one item on the agenda and it needed approved. So we have to wait till the first Tuesday of next month for that meeting.
All right, sir. We will move on to report of special committees and board liaisons.
I'd just take a moment, Ms. Booyer, I'd echo her sentiment, but Kids Fishing Day was great, very successful. I know my daughter and I had a great time. It looked like everybody else did too. One thing I'd note on behalf of the city that I thought was really cool is obviously it's Kids Fishing Day, but the fire trucks, food, the Department of Conservation, educational opportunities, it's a lot more than just fishing, and that was really cool to see. So great success, thanks to all involved, and I look forward to next year.
All righty, thank you. What else?
Library board?
Yeah.
All right now?
Yep, you bet.
Library board just met this evening. The main thing they're really excited about is the summer reading program has begun. Parking lot was full. They were ecstatic about it. Said the noise level was wonderfully high in the library. They said the summer is really best of times at the public library. Very grateful for the public support. 30 new patrons were signed into the system. That's a record day for them. So they're just really excited about the summer. Also, some events coming up. 16 events are going to be held in the Stately Family Legacy Center, including some new STEM technology that was purchased with the grant. So a lot of exciting things happening at the library.
Very good, thank you, sir. All right, move on to mayor's report. So busy stuff, but mostly budget stuff and that kind of thing. Kids Fishing Day, again, gotta talk about it. Every year it comes off well. This year is no exception. The weather was great because it started out a little cloudy, but the breeze was blowing and kids were fishing, having fun. The new playground equipment was being used at the same time, and yeah, doesn't get any better than that. So thank you, everybody. All right, we'll move on to reporter remarks from council members. Let's start over here with you, Ms. Schramm.
I have nothing tonight, thank you.
All right, Ms. Cossey,
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Nothing.
Ms. Bartlett,
Nothing.
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Nothing.
Ms. Peterson.
I'll be brief. As a member appointed to the Public Works Committee, I think we're all aware that we haven't had a meeting in coming up on 3 months now. And as a new council member myself, I believe that it would certainly be beneficial because I don't think work has halted in the city over those 3 months. Particularly we had the storms and such. And I defer to Mr. Taylor, the chairman, or anyone else. And so obviously with a lack of a city attorney, I understand the potential issues that can bring up with council bills and approval and such. But speaking personally here, I do still think there's immense value in holding those meetings for citizen participation, staff reports, maybe a handful of areas that don't require a city attorney. So all that said, I was just generally curious, is that maybe an indefinite period? Or?
No, it's
Okay.
not. We will have a meeting next month, whether we can finalize business or not.
Sure.
Because there are some things that are coming up that a lot of people need to know about, whether it takes a vote or any, it just passing knowledge on it, and I'm sure that's what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
And I haven't had a chance to chair a meeting yet, so that's gonna be different.
Sure.
But I've made as the chair, I have made the decision whether we have a city attorney next month or not. We will have a meeting of Public Works, just so we can get to know everybody.
Sure. Yeah.
That's there, because things have changed. And there's been some stuff that's happened, and it needs to be recognized, and I think that's the place to formally recognize it first.
Agreed.
Would be in that meeting. So yes, there is going to be a meeting the 1st of July. So.
Right on. Right on. Well, I appreciate that. Nothing further, Your Honor.
All righty, thank you. Mr. Taylor, anything?
Yes, I would like to thank Jeff Meredith, but not just Jeff Meredith, his wife. We had a couple a couple of gentlemen had a problem in Ward 3. And instead of contacting Dustin or Terry, some friends of mine contacted me with these fellows had a problem. One of them's blind, the other one has ALS, and they had a problem with their sewer. Well, I talked to some guys at Public Works, and I said, listen, after lunch, just go by there and see what the problem is. Well, the problem is they're on a joint line with 2 other houses behind them, and that's where the problems lie, and the landlord won't fix anything. But I called Jeff Meredith because he's in tune with grants and things for people, and he turned me over to his wife, who that's what she does, is help people that are of retirement age and have health troubles. She helps them find alternate means of funds to pay their living expenses, because a lot of these folks that's on Social Security, they're not drawing much of nothing. We have since got them, they have put a down payment on a brand new 2-bedroom apartment that is all handicap accessible, that will be ready August the 1st. They are right now going through some stuff with Jeff's wife to make sure that they can afford to live there at $1,200 and some a month. But it's a fully furnished apartment, and I want to thank her for all the help she has been, and if you want, Dustin, if you want to follow up, the guy's name is I just went blank. Lori. I'm gonna tell you because I think it's impertinent. No, you're fine, sweetie. It's Rick Harms and Tommy Harms. And they live over on, is it South Maple, right?
I thought it was good.
And one of them is the eyes of the family, and the other one's the feet, because one's in a wheelchair and one can't see. But we were trying to keep them in their home, because they really didn't want to leave because they were familiar. And I don't know if any of you ever dealt with a blind person before, but when they get familiar, they count steps to the bathroom and to where corners and things like that are. But they are super excited about this new step in their life. They may need some help with somebody that does estate sales. I give them a couple of places to look at, or an auctioneer. I know of a couple of auctioneers here in town that they could look at, but if, you know, Terry, you or Dustin know of anybody else that could help them, that would be greatly appreciated, because I'll tell you what, these two guys are about as appreciative as anybody you'll ever see.
Okay.
They are just super guys. But I just want to recognize Jeff and his wife for going above and beyond the call of their duties for helping out citizens here in the town, and I think it's just awesome.
Okay, thank you.
That's all I have.
All right. We'll move on to administrative reports. Chief Hawkins, anything?
Nothing tonight.
Mr. Maples, anything?
Yeah, a few things. We did not qualify for the state of emergency grant from the governor. As for the MDAG grant, it was submitted today for review. If we qualify for it, it will match up to 50% of our expenses for debris removal only. If anybody has any more questions on that, they can contact Chief Huntley. The Safe Haven baby box on the install, they do have a contractor, but we have not been given a date yet. 4th of July, I've received the necessary paperwork from the shooter. We'll be using the same one from the last 2 years. And the North Tornado siren has been repaired and is functioning.
Very good. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Ms. Almendinger.
Thank you. Just a couple of things. We are preparing for the Battle of Carthage reenactment, which is this weekend. That's through the Battle of Carthage nonprofit, and there'll be all kinds of activities starting about 9 a.m. with opportunities to visit the campgrounds. There's a ladies' tea. I think it starts at 10:30. The reenactment starts at 1 o'clock, and then there is a ball in the evening. The cost is just $5 per person. It's cash only. Kids under 12 are free, and so that'll be a really fun and great experience. I'm on the board of that organization, and we helped run it a couple of years ago, and it's just a phenomenal experience. And then both pools are up and running, and that's all I have tonight, Your Honor. Thank you.
All righty, thank you. All right, move on to report of the Claims Committee.
The Committee on Claims filed a report in the amount of $861,466.13.
So back to the issue, as I mentioned, it was forwarded from committee contingent on that one project being accepted. So I will defer to the preferences of the council and see if they want to go ahead and approve the claims, including that bill, even without the project having been completed.
I make a motion, we accept the claims as stated.
And now, my understanding is that the work that, with the contractor that we contracted with is completed. The fixtures were installed, but there's an issue with them, so it's gonna be like a warranty deal, so the guy.
Not exactly.
folks-
We have the lights. We've put them up a couple of times. They've come back down because they're not quite the right warmth that we need. We've purchased them from the company. So the company provided the lights. The manufacturer is helping us to fix the warmth of the lights. So they will be going back up, but we have purchased them from Covert Electric.
Okay,
I'm not sure if that's helpful.
so, yeah, so in essence, it's complete, but we're exchanging out for a correct.
Right. The companies
bulb.
provided the lights that were ordered, and then the manufacturer is helping us fix the issue there. So they have provided
Okay.
the items.
Yeah, so I don't know if that makes it any clearer or not, but that help with the decision making.
So what basically what it sounds like is that we bought the lights through a third party, right? We didn't buy them from the manufacturer, but it's the manufacturer that is trying to work with the city to make things. Okay, so as I mentioned, I'm happy to defer to the other council members. I will say that if I was relating this to a situation in my home, and let's say I went to a home supply store and I bought something and something wasn't functioning the way it was supposed to, I probably would not pay that bill until it was functioning the way that it was supposed to, because the party that I bought it through has a certain obligation to make sure things are functioning correctly, and if you pay them, they have less incentive to do that. But that's my input. So I would probably vote no on paying them right now until the lights are functioning correctly. But the council is welcome to.
Is there a penalty for paying later?
So the issue really is that this was a project for, from this fiscal year, and so I believe all of the numbers are set for the carryover numbers. So if we don't pay this bill, then it affects our carryover numbers for the future budget. We can amend that, but this company they're done with they're done with their portion of the project. They provided the lights, and so the manufacturer is fixing the issue, which is where we got the lights from. We had to go through the third party to purchase the lights. We purchased the lights, so their obligation, that specific company, has completed, and then the manufacturer is working with us to fix the issue with the lights. It's a manufacturer issue, not a issue with the company we purchased them from.
So, just in general, anytime that you buy something through a third party, they have a requirement to make sure that what you've bought is a good product. And so, like I said, just as tends to be the case, if you pay somebody for something, they're less interested in following through on that commitment. So I'm voting no on the amount that includes the $15,000 until those are corrected. I'd be happy to vote for it at the next council meeting when the issue is corrected.
Got a motion, or somebody gonna?
We have a motion, we don't have a second.
A motion and a second?
No, Mr. Taylor made the motion, we
Okay.
don't have a second.
All right, so we've got a motion to pay, and your order, or your motion was to pay as?
Yes, sir.
As written, or as pay the claims as presented?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Second.
so I have a motion and a second to pay the claims as submitted. Any discussion?
I was just gonna add that we don't wanna burn any bridges with a company that we've worked with too by not paying them in a timely manner. And if they have provided their service and it is a manufacturer issue that they were unaware of, and it's going to be fixed by the manufacturer, I do think we should follow up and make sure that the manufacturer has carried through with their part of the deal. But I think we pay the party that presented it, did the work of getting the initial stuff completed.
But I'm not sure it's a timely issue. It's just our timing of the budget and not a timely issue of the bill.
No, I understand. I'm sorry. I didn't make that clear. I meant a time, I wasn't even talking about that now because I understood what she said, but I mean, paying a bill on time is also important.
The bill is past due.
When is the bill due?
I would have to take a look at the exact bill. I'm not sure at what point it was due.
Because our credit, I mean, I was just thinking of our credit as a city too, and keeping our word and paying what we've done if they've completed their part.
But it seems like it's not totally completed. And I hate to pay the bill and not have it finished.
Right, the company that we purchased the lights from has completed their portion of the project, so they have nothing more, there's nothing more that they will do with the lights or without the lights. The issue is with the manufacturer. So we didn't pay the manufacturer, but the manufacturer has been gracious enough to work with us, despite the fact that they're going to take a little bit on the, on the chin for the fixing the issue. They're gonna absorb that cost. And so this bill is past due because we've been working on this issue for about 3 or 4 months now. So they've asked us to pay the bill because we owe them the money. They've provided the service to us. The manufacturer is helping us because what got ordered was from the manufacturer. So it's a manufacturer issue. We don't owe the manufacturer any money, and they're not obligated to help us, but they are helping us. So the issue,
Was it us that ordered incorrectly?
no,
Was it the third party that ordered incorrectly?
no. It was the manufacturer that messed up, and they are agreeing that they messed up, and they're trying to help us fix it. So the company that we ordered the lights from, they provided the lights. So
So I may
their
have-
job is done.
I may have misunderstood you. I thought it just a second ago you said the manufacturer is also not required to help us.
We're working it out. I mean, I don't know what else. We never paid the manufacturer. We ordered something from a third party. The manufacturer, we can't buy it directly from the manufacturer. We have to buy it from a contractor. So we sent out an RFP. They provided the lights as ordered. The manufacturer messed up a little bit, and we're all working it out. So we're all working together. So Covert is asking us to pay them because we haven't paid the bill in 3 months, because we've been working on this issue, because I did refuse to pay the bill until we got it worked out. So now we're talking to the manufacturer and we're fixing that problem, but Covert expects their payment.
Right, but again, just in contract law, when you buy something, even though they're the intermediary and they are not the person who manufactured it, they still have a responsibility to make sure that the goods you receive work properly, and they're not entitled to payment until things are working properly. I wouldn't do it in my personal life. I'm not going to vote to go ahead and forward city funds for something that still isn't working properly, even though they did provide the lights. I understand what you're saying. They bought the lights, they forwarded the lights onto us, but they still have an obligation. They're the intermediary. They can't just say, well, we didn't manufacture them and dust their hands of it. That's not the way it works. Again, once the lights are working properly, I'm happy to vote for this, but just because we received the lights, if they aren't working properly, I'm not willing to personally cast a vote to pay them until they're working properly.
Okay, any further discussion?
Do you think that could be worked out by our next meeting on the 25th?
I don't really, just because of the length of time that it's taken to, get this going. We are now talking directly to the company. They're helping, they're working it out. We're all working together. Cover is really just out of the picture. We've gone straight to the manufacturer, so they really have nothing to do with it at this point. So I don't know.
Were there any late fees on that bill?
No, they've been very gracious to not assign late fees to us.
So there's a potential, I assume that there's a potential they could add.
We've been told that if we don't pay the bill, that we will incur those late charges, yes.
But if they've provided a defective product,
Covert didn't provide any defective product. Covert just ordered what came from what the manufacturer was asked to.
Yes, but it came through them. They are the third-party provider. It is the same whether they manufactured it or they bought it from a supplier and then sent it on to us. They are the provider to us. They provided a defective product. There
Okay.
should be no late fees.
All right, any further discussion? So we've got a motion and a second.
Yes.
No further discussion. All in favor, raise your hand. Opposed? Same sign.
5-3.
All right. Motion carries. All right, no old business, no new business. We'll move on to mayor's appointments.
The mayor's appointment of John Gold as the interim city attorney.
Any discussion?
Since it's an appointment, do we need to make a motion then to approve that? I would like to make a motion that we approve John Gold as the city attorney.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to accept the appointment of John Gold. Any discussion?
When is he able to start?
We've got the contracts and
I believe it's immediate.
yeah. was. I would say tomorrow, probably.
Okay,
Yeah.
and are there requirements on that contract of how many hours or what, how does that stand, as
No.
needed?
The contract was in the packet.
Okay.
Just as needed.
There's like a removal process. I think we're re-advertising for the position. And I think he has in there until you guys name a successor, he'll serve as the council side on that.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, and that was my only concern, actually, was that clause that Miranda mentioned. So in clause 4, it basically says that, it says, in order to ensure a smooth and efficient operation of the city, said terms shall continue until the mayor appoints a successor. And then in clause 5, it says that we can terminate with 30 days notice. I would actually like to make a motion that we amend, that we recommend, that we approve the contract with an amended clause in there to remove everything in clause 4 after the words "the effective date of this agreement is June," and then I guess would be today's date, 2024. I would like to see removed that clause that says, in order to ensure a smooth transition. Number one, because it seems to give 2 possible end dates, and number 2, it vests the power only with the mayor and not with the council. Alternately, I would propose that we say until the mayor and a majority of the council, or a majority of the council. Was
that not in there already? Because that was that contract that you asked it to be a simple majority rather than the.
So it's in clause 5, which is what I'm saying tends to conflict with this, because in clause 4 it says that it continues until the mayor appoints a successor. Well, in the event that a successor doesn't get appointed until after 30 days, then that conflicts with clause 5, which basically says, so if you want me to read the full clause 5, it says Attorney Gold may be removed from the office as city attorney at will by the mayor with the consent of the majority of the members elected to city council, or a majority vote of all members elected to the city council independent of the mayor's approval or recommendation. Then it says, but this is the next piece is the piece that I believe conflicts with number 4, where it says Attorney Gold may resign at any time as city attorney for the city upon not less than 30 days written notice to the mayor and council. I apologize, I read that wrong. So he can resign, I'm sorry, within 30 days. So I don't believe now that it conflicts with clause 5, but I would still like to see clause 4 change to shall continue until either the mayor and a majority of the council appoints a successor, or just have that removed, that clause entirely. I don't like the fact that the power rests only with one person to continue the contract. I believe it should rest with the mayor and or the council. So I guess at this point, to clarify my motion would be to amend this contract to remove everything after the period in the first sentence.
I'll second that if it makes more sense in the contract.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to amend the contract to remove everything after the period in the first sentence of what was that in?
Clause 4.
Clause 4?
Yes.
Okay, any discussion?
This is not to divert from the current item, but before we move to possible approval, the way I read this contract is that we are hiring Mr. Gold, the individual. Now I see that he's obviously a partner in his firm, Reynolds and Gold, but do we, how do I word this, receive the resources of the firm, or is it exclusive to Mr. Gold, if that makes sense? So we'll have an individual sitting here.
Right.
Okay, gotcha.
Right.
And I believe that's correct, except I think he said that his availability was limited on the 4th Thursday of every month,
Yeah.
possibly, because there's a potential conflict, but not a standing conflict. And so also along those lines, to clarify, it's, will the city council members be able to access this firm as they would if we had a city attorney who was sitting in Mr. Dowley's old office? Or is there some special contract, some special process they need to go through? Because unlike with a city attorney who's an employee, every time we contact them, there is a fee that's incurred.
Right.
And additional expenses. So I think we just need to make sure that we understand as a council who has access to reach out and do things, for example, submit proposed ordinances, and what type of process needs to occur before that happens.
Yeah, we just need to follow the process for a council bill or an ordinance, which is in the policy and yeah, so I think if we follow those, everybody will be pretty good there.
And I know we're getting ready to vote on my motion. I would actually, upon reading this clause, and let me read that termination clause just one more time. I apologize. Okay, yep. My motion still stands. Sorry.
All right, so got a motion and a second. Amend the contract as outlined. Any further discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Opposed? Motion carried. Now we need a motion to accept the contract as amended.
I move that we accept the contract as amended.
I second.
Have a motion and a second to accept the contract as amended. Any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Opposed? Motion carried. All right.
And the mayor's appointment of Nathan Gurley as interim municipal court attorney.
I motion that we accept Nathan Gurley as the interim municipal court attorney.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to accept the appointment for municipal court attorney. Any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Opposed? Motion carried. All right, we'll move on. Closing comments. Mr. Barlow, anything?
No, sir. Thank you.
Ms. Cossey?
Nothing tonight, Ron.
Ms. Schramm?
Nope, nothing, thank you.
Mr. Taylor?
I am good, sir.
Ms. Peterson?
Nothing further, thank you.
Ms. Lees? Ms. Heckmaster?
Nothing tonight.
I do anticipate that we'll have a special budget meeting now that we'll have the attorney in place to forward that budget to council. I'm assuming that may end up happening next week.
I would assume so. I know Mr. Snow's out of town
Mr.
this
Snow's
week.
on
and-
vacation. I'm not sure when he's due back, but
And Tracy's out, I think, through Thursday,
yeah,
maybe.
the end of this, yeah.
But yes, she did say there would be a special one at some point.
Just so that we can get it in place
Yeah.
before the next regularly scheduled
Yep.
meeting. So just thought I'd mention that. But
Okay.
also motion to adjourn.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.
Well, so I can actually get to go home and do my dinner work tomorrow.